Welcome to the Coffee Break Show today. Today, I have Dylan Vanas with us, and we are going to rock your world. Everything marketing from one of the top agencies out there. We're going to be talking marketing that's going to help you grow your business and talk about how it's going to help you in the future. We will be right back. You're on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. My name's Vickie Helm. Dylan, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you. Oh my God, you have done so much stuff. Like when I was reading your bio, you have a couple of agencies. You've been on Fox News, Yahoo. You've been everywhere. You write a column for entrepreneur.com, and you're just one of the marketing experts. Let's see, you have Agency Box, and you're the co-founder of, is it Mindful Agency as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you also have a YouTube channel, yes?
Yes, I do.
You're kind of like everywhere, everything. So how did you get into this? What was the first thing? How did this all start?
I feel like the everywhere everything is not the thing you want to be known as, right? Because that's like the jack of all trades. But yeah. So I started in entrepreneurship like when I was super young. Someone told me about this book called Think and Grow Rich. I'm sure you've heard of it. Yeah. And one of my mentors, he said, if you read through this book and you write a report on every chapter, a 3-page report on every chapter, I'll mentor you. This guy's, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I said, all right. So I did the report. I sent it to him. And then he came back and said, all right, here's the next one. Well, he ended up taking me through a period of, I think it was like 6 or 7 books, like the classic, like Richest Man in Babylon, As a Man Thinketh, like, the core stuff. And How to Win Friends, Influence People. And then at the end of it, we got into like a mentorship. And he helped me start my first business. It became pretty successful. In my first year and a half, I broke 7 figures in revenue. I'm like 19 years old. I'm like, this is awesome. And I built that company up for a while. And then really it's a direct sales company. I had no life. I was like a traveling carny, basically. I was in a different city every weekend. I was like, I got to find a better way. Like, what's something I love? It's like, I love creating attention, getting attention, right? Whether it's for myself or other people's brands. So it's like, what can I do to get paid for that? And that's when I kind of thought about like, well, what about the marketing agency business? So I started it, and that was about 6.5 years ago. And it's morphed and transitioned several times over, as businesses do. Yeah, but I'm grateful, and I love what I do.
It's crazy that you're mentioning this now, when we're looking at, choosing something that you actually enjoy doing or choosing something. And I want to talk about getting attention, because that is currency right now. That's what everybody's fighting for, is attention. And I look at the future and I don't see that it's going to get easier. I think it's going to get more murky with AI and attention. We don't know if it's going to be real or deep fake or whatever it is. But I want to know, in the future, what are like the top 3 ways or 4 ways that you would think a new person who's just stepping into this would start to look at? How do I establish and gain and get attention?
So I look at, so attention now, what does it really mean, right? It's eyeballs. Mm-hmm. And, my girl is she's in the music industry. And for her, the music industry changed. It's no longer about signing with a label and then having them go and manufacture success for you. It's literally just become a clown on the internet and become a celebrity, a influencer, and then you can sell tickets and streams. So that's the music industry. I mean, the business world is the same. It's like you look at the companies that are thriving right now. They're companies that know how to capture attention. So the formula for that's, I think, pretty simple. There's 3 steps to it. I look at it like a pyramid. On the bottom is what I call social proof. This is where you need to have a baseline level of social proof for people to give a crap about you. If you got 47 followers and pictures of your dog, no one cares who you are. So when I work with clients, we go in, we help them establish that baseline level of social proof. Like, you know what it is. I mean, you have this, right? You have the website, the personal brand website, you have
Yep.
the podcast. Like
Yep.
the core essentials is you need 10,000 followers across all the platforms, which you can manufacture to help get a kickstart. Number two, you need a personal brand website. Number three, you need some press. You need to get in the media so that you can start showcasing that success. From there, you go out, you get on people's podcasts. So the next level is about tapping into an audience. So get on people's podcasts, create content, find a way to reach real people. And then the third, the pinnacle at the top of the pyramid, is like speaking on stages, where you can get yourself in a room with thousands of people in some cases that are paid to be there. And that's the most ideal audience. These people travel from all over the world to sit and listen to people. And if you can
Yeah.
stand up, you get the most amount of potential customers, the most amount of potential followers, and that's really the pinnacle, and at least in like the business kind of like industry.
Yeah. This is interesting that you're saying this because one of the things I know is we have a tendency to think that somebody who's making, 10, 50, 150 million a year with their company's doing really, really, really well, and their brand may be known, et cetera. And I've had a couple of them, sell their company or retire, and then they want to start their online journey and they have zero attention. They have zero audience. And they've had all of this success. They've had all of this achievement. But at the end of it, we've gone from this old school, you can have a lot of success and achievement without having a big audience or growing an audience. And now it's like the fundamental foundation is exactly what you said. 10,000 people on all platforms, not just on one, but it's like, let's get 10,000 people. So you can have 2,000 people here and 7,000 people here and 1,000 people here. Can you gather that 10,000 people? That's such an interesting thing to say. If you're starting out right now, and let's say you're you have an information business. Let's just say you're, I don't know, selling programs or something a course you created, and you're starting and you've, written a book, you've gotten the course done and ready. It's up online. You have no audience and you think, I got to hustle and grind a little bit right now. What platform out of all of them do you think is the best right now to start growing an audience, to gain that attention? And I know this is a tough question because you're going to be, well, it depends. It depends on the product. It depends on this and that and the other. So give me a couple of examples for people like, so they know, oh, this one would be better for me, etc.
Yeah, thanks for reading my mind, because literally I was going to say depends on the goals, right? But
Yeah.
here's the fact. So I'll explain the three main platform. I'll explain the four main platforms, and then just like the one benefit of each one. So Instagram, you're gonna struggle to grow your audience organically on Instagram, but it's the best networking tool because it's the first thing. It's kind of like the modern day business card. It's what everyone wants to swap and exchange. So you
Yeah.
want to create an Instagram that looks good. That's like the most important thing. Um, then TikTok. So TikTok is interesting because it's one of the platforms that you can grow organically on. And if you're good at speaking, communicating, going live is actually a way to build an audience. I do lives occasionally, about once every 2 weeks on there, and I'll do a 1 hour session. I'll have 35,000 people come through and watch my live, and it's just like, it's pretty
Interesting.
good. Um, the third platform is YouTube. I'm leaving Facebook for last because it's super interesting, but YouTube is third. YouTube is phenomenal for long form content. A video that's over 2 minutes long. 8 minutes is kind of the sweet spot for YouTube. But the reason it's the best is because it's the highest. Is you build the most amount of trust with that audience, and in turn, it becomes the most profitable. Every 1,000 people who see your stuff, you could be making $5 to $10, even $20 in some cases. For TikTok, if you have 1,000 people that see your stuff, you're going to be making pennies. So YouTube is
Yeah.
extremely profitable. And then Facebook, oh my gosh, Facebook is so interesting. So I've been running a test. I'm always geeking out with marketing stuff. I'm running a test right now. I created 5 new Facebook accounts and I've been posting content on them. One account, same content, by the way. One account in the last 14 days has reached over 150,000 people. One account has reached over 250,000 people. One account has reached like 60, 70,000, and 2 accounts have reached less than 50 people. So what's
Wow.
happening is I'm distributing the same content in the same cadence across 5 pages, brand new pages, and I'm experiencing this. So sometimes you just end up with a dead page.
That's that's interesting there. There's got to be some qualifier on that page that is creating the interest or the lack of interest. I mean, that's a sweet spot of experimenting and how you create value for your company. Like, this is what we can do. We've already done the field testing for you, so we know that this message will work here and this message will work here. Love what you said about TikTok, because a lot of people are all the rages on TikTok, but you'll make pennies. Love that. I love that. What are some of the ways that someone who wants to get attention, maintain attention, grow attention, what are some of the key factors that they need to look for in growing an audience? And of course, again, I know it depends, because are you using what social media platform, right? So um, that to me is always the what platform. I say, use as many as you can. But I'm like looking, if you're just starting and you don't know anybody, or maybe you've been a CEO for years and you've decided that you're going to have an online presence. And even though you have all this success, how do you grow that audience from, what are the 3 characteristics of serving an audience? That's, I think, what's there for, is serving an audience. What are the 3 things or more that you can do? What are some of the important things they need to focus on, other than being entertaining? Because that's like a capture all word. That's like saying food, entertaining on these things and being edutainment. What are some of the key things that are going to help that attention stick? Not that you just get it one time, but how do you make attention stick?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of my friends, I started an account with him, a TikTok account back in like 2020, and I grew it to 50,000 followers, and I gave it to him and said, "Dude, you just good luck with it." Now it's over 1.5 million followers on
Wow.
TikTok, a few 100,000 on Instagram, and he's crushed it. And I look at him and I look at other people who did the same thing in the same time. Some people grew faster than him and now they're gone. And so I've been really fascinated with that exact question. It's like, how do you get, but also keep attention
Yeah.
and keep growing over time? In fact, I'm actually really fascinated by people. There's a guy named Meet Kevin. He's a financial YouTuber. He's someone who's faced a ton of criticism for things. And he's like, it feels like he always does, but he keeps growing and pushing forward. So what's really fascinating is these guys who, despite attack from the outside, they're
Yeah.
still like becoming better. And so I've studied hundreds of these people. In fact, I was with Dana White yesterday. He runs the UFC, and he told me,
Yeah.
he's like, Dylan, I'm in a war against the media. Literally, me and the media
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
So, but he keeps getting bigger. So here's what I think it is. So as far as content goes, what everybody could do is you have to be using short form vertical content. In your videos, there should be no black space anywhere. Don't post a video. If there's a black space on the top or the bottom, don't post it. Format it so that it's like properly filled. And if there's some extra room, just put some text up there or something
Yeah.
else. Okay. Then take that content, and you mentioned like one platform. Heck, just put it on all of them. Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, TikTok videos, and then YouTube Shorts. just put it everywhere. It's not that hard. There's apps you can use. I don't recommend using third-party apps, but you can if you have to. You just spend 5 minutes, 15 minutes at the start of your week to schedule them. Super easy. So that's the first thing, is short form vertical content. The second thing is you need something that people know you by. So what is that thing? And make sure that you're reiterating that thing over and over again. So the reason that personalities, people, are much more successful. You don't go look at how many followers Tesla has on social media. They have on Twitter, they have about 20 million. Then go look how much Elon Musk has. Guess what? He's got 120 million. I don't know. Last time I checked, probably way more now.
Wow.
And so people are much more sticky than brands. And so that's why it's not a coincidence that the largest brands in the world,
Interesting.
when you think of Apple, you think of Steve Jobs. When you think of Amazon, you think of Jeff Bezos, right? It goes on and on and on. When you think of Vickie Helm, you think of Vickie Helm, but that's a different story.
You think of coffee.
Yeah, you think of coffee. There we go. As I'm drinking mine. So that's the second thing, is you need, and if you own a company and you don't want to be the spokesperson, get the spokesperson. Like, find that person within the company who can be that face. And then the third thing is, a lot of people get stressed out about doing these things to perfection, or knowing the algorithm, or there's some system I have to crack. The formula for virality online is simple. It's create high quality content consistently over time. The reason that most people don't have successful YouTube channels or social media pages is because they do it for 2 months and then they stop. You're not, if you're trying to get attention online through content and you're hoping that it's going to be a one-hit wonder, it's not. You have to do it. If you do it, you make content consistently for 2 years, and every time you make one thing better on every video, I guarantee, come speak to me in 2 years. If you're not viral, I will literally blow your brand up for free, because that's the formula for going successful and going viral online.
That's cool. That's really cool that you said that, because so many people, they want instant manifestation, instant audience, instant. And you're talking about creating content. I want to drop in a little bit here, Dylan, while I have you. I just think, how is AI going to affect the content creator? I know there's some things that it's going to be able to do with you and make it easier and better. But I'm talking about, you said, if you're making content and you're making content that is like 1% better over and over in 2 years, if you're not there, I will personally, blow you up or something like that. And I'm wondering, how is it going to be affect the process by using AI right now in the content creation thing? See, I don't use it. I still think it's too young. It does a lot of good stuff in certain areas, but there is nothing, I think, that is more valuable than the conversation of two people. Although robots, I think, are really great. And everyone, I think, their BS detector is getting stronger and stronger. And they know when somebody's just a BSer online, or they know if it's been made up. And that authentic conversation, I think, helps me stick out when I interview. It helps me stick out on stage when I'm talking to people. It just, when I write, if I started using AI, I have enough books out now. People would be going, this is the AI book. This sounds nothing like you. And I want to know, what is your thoughts on trying to build content and attention with AI and having it absolutely reflect you? Like, how do you measure? You're probably using it right now, but how do you make it so that it's your voice and you, so that, you have before AI content and now AI content. So if you're starting out right now, you don't have that before AI. I did a boatload of content, and now they're telling everybody, use AI and just go do this and just go do that. And I think that that's not always the smartest way to start your conversation. If you want attention, what kind of attention do you want?
Yeah, well, I agree with you in many aspects on that. At the same time, I use AI literally every day. I'm using
Me too.
ChatGPT literally every day,
Me too.
and that's awesome. And the
Hmm.
thing is, I think a lot of people are scared of it. And really, if you break down fear, it's, you've heard the saying, false evidence appearing real, right?
Yeah.
So we're scared of AI. It's because we don't know. It's an unknown. We don't know the truth behind it. When you start to, and I'm a little scared of AI because like it's developing so fast, but if you
Yeah.
can just use it to some capacity, I think that everyone's going to be okay.
If they
I've
use it, if they use it in a kind way. If they don't, if there's some bad actors with AI, it's the bad actors. But if you're using it like you're using it or I'm using it, we'd be okay.
I don't know how you're using it, but no, I'm just joking. Um, but so the thing with AI though is uh, it is a little bit weird. So I had a phone call with one of my employees. He called me freaking out about something, and I didn't actually know in the time how to respond. So this is gonna sound so messed up, but I pulled up ChatGPT, and literally while I was on the phone with him, I was typing in like how to respond to this situation, and it gave me like a few things. And normally I would have got off the phone, called one of my advisors or mentors. They would have gave me the advice, and then we'd go. But I did it real time. And I had this thought. I was like, what if AI was so good where it literally could be saying my mimicking my voice at that time? This guy could have called me. AI could have been just saying the same
Yep,
things I said anyways,
that's
and he
right.
wouldn't have known.
That's right. And
But let's
that's possible now. They're doing that now. It's not as smooth as talking to you is, but it will get there very shortly.
Yeah. So then what happens, right? And then what happens if not only is my voice doing the AI, but what if his voice was AIing? And at the end, we just get a little summary
Interesting.
texted to us.
Interesting. Interesting.
And
Interesting.
and he doesn't know, I don't know. We think we're the other person, we're using some system. But you know what's
And
crazy?
nobody was there.
This is already happening.
Yeah.
Did you know that? This
Hmm.
exact scenario I just described is actually already happening. Two AIs talking to each other, and
Wow.
we're just getting a summary. And where it's happening, you have actually probably experienced it. You didn't even know through email.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you gotten an email in the last 2 or 3 months, and you're like, this was AI written?
Yeah. Totally.
And then have you ever taken that, put it into AI, and had them write the response? We're literally using AI to talk to AI. It's just mind blowing.
Hmm. Yeah. And I look at the some of the things that's there. One of the things, I'm a content creator, have been for years. And when Chat GTP came out, I was like, okay, one of the cool things about it is it can produce a bulk for you. And then all I have to do is go through it and make it into my words, etc., and edit it, so to speak. So that when it gets out there, there's so much to be able to do with it. And I'm starting to play with the picture stuff and starting, I've seen the voice thing. I've seen the here's my voice, and now they have a, it takes 3 seconds to record a piece of your voice, and they can now talk in your voice as well. I mean, there's so much that's been there, and it's been out for a while, so I've been playing with it for a while. But I look at marketing, ahead of marketing right now, and I think if I could put all this stuff into Chat GDP, and it could make my marketing program for me. Why is it that I'm hiring an agency? What's the difference? Why would I engage in that if I have this at my fingertips?
I think that question is being asked in every single industry. And
Yep.
what's happening right now is the people who are being asked the question are saying, it's never going to replace me. My industry is protected. I'm fine. And I'm thinking, I'm like, it's going, anything that can be done through computers or through programming, which is most things, will be replaced. So now the thing isn't how can I, the question's no longer how do I do stuff on my own. It's how do I use tools and assistants to do stuff and organize.
That's
And
right.
so for a marketer, me, for example, well, yeah, maybe in 12 months, there'll be a tool, some kind of tool that helps people increase their ROAS, let's say return on ad spend, right? Just through AI. Well, as the marketer, now what I'm doing is I'm facilitating the process. Because if you think about it, this has been a thing that's been going on for years. You know how to cook a meal. Why do you go hire a restaurant to cook the meal for you and pay them and sit there and pay and a massive amount more money than you could cook it yourself? There's always someone who is a specialized knowledge who's able to organize information. So with that in the marketing industry, the agency space is going to change. I run a program called Agency Box. We've got over 5,000 agency owners inside the platform. And
Wow.
I bet many of them are scared to death right now. The thing is what we're doing is we're supporting them by providing them an ecosystem where they just have to be like the one overseeing the process. And if you're sitting here, number one, denying that it will affect you, and two, you're not tapping into it, you're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
But everyone else is going to be okay.
That's a really big statement right there, because the speed by which you can fall behind right now is not like it was in the past. It's like if you take a month off, you're like, wow, what's new here? What's new happening right now? I think for agencies, for people who are doing that, using those tools, a lot of the conversation, because the way a lot of AI tools are being sold is you don't need this anymore because now this will do this for you. You don't need this anymore. Now, as much as I like AI and I think it's smart and things are, there's some good things and bad things about everything. It doesn't matter. It's good actors, bad actors in every industry. It's not just like AI is this one thing. AI is just the newest industry that is going to have both in there. But one of the things that I think is really important is just because something can reproduce information doesn't mean there's creativity in it. So it's like Dylan, there's no new types of meat. None. There's like white meat, dark meat, red meat. There's just no new types of meat. There's no new meat coming. The difference is the flavor that you create with the meat. It's like, is it barbecue? Is it fried? Is it baked? Is it what spices are on top of it? That spices, that flavor, to me, that's the agency. And that agency is what is the flavor and the spice you're going to put on it. I think at this point, the AI, super capable, doesn't know the spices of you that you're putting on that particular thing. And when you shop for an agency or you're shopping for someone to work with you to get your brand and your message out, so it still has the spices, the recipe, and the flavor of you in it. That's why you hire an agency still. And even afterwards, AI is the tool that may help sculpt it. But that brand message of who you are in the world, whatever your attention is, you don't want that to be fizzled out by something because it's faster or it's easier. And when you're hiring an agency, do they get the flavor of you, the recipe of you? Because there's no new meat. So there's no new customers. I mean, there are being born, but they're not going to be in your immediate range for a few years. It's like the message is the message, the brand is the brand, and putting that form of attention out in that way, I think that creativity and originality of an agency that to me is, even if they wrote a copywriting message, even if AI wrote the copywriting message, it would still need an agency person to look at that copy message and say, does that reflect my client's brand? Does it reflect that? And AI will probably catch up to that, but right now I don't think it has. And for me, what you're hiring when you hire an agency is their originality and their creativity, and somebody who understands your brand message while they're putting it out and giving you that attention. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand what I'm saying in that arena? And I think everybody should look for that. Like, if you're going to go hire an agency right now, what are 3 things that you're looking for inside that agency?
Yeah, I think that with I like what you're saying, right? You're saying that AI right now is kind of just repurposing like the same
That's
thing over
right.
and over again.
Yep.
There's no tone, there's
Yep.
no flavor. They just it's bacon and eggs every single day, you know. And and with that, I do think though that it's going to be a short time until that changes. Like it could be
Yep.
we could
Just
be
like that.
talking in 6 months,
Yeah.
and what you're saying now, there could be a whole other tool for that.
Yeah.
So I think the thing really when it comes to AI to focus on is find a way to use it. And in this case, ChatGPT really is like I think the most powerful tool that's
I do
publicly
too.
available.
I do
So
too.
just on the weekend for 15 minutes, like go jump in there, try a couple things out. The thing that makes it powerful is I know some really successful entrepreneurs. I've got some friends that are much more successful than me. And I had him on my podcast, one of them, and said, what do you think about ChatGPT? And he's like, oh, it's all right. It's not there yet. And I'm like, dude, like you're doing something wrong. And I
Yeah.
showed him what I was doing. And he was like, I didn't know it worked like this.
Yeah.
Everyone I show the way I'm using it, I guess, in a unique way because people I'm showing how I'm using it, they're like, holy crap. So
That's cool.
all you have to know when it comes to AI is if you get the wrong answer, it means you
Mhm.
gave it the wrong question.
That's
So
right.
go back and rewrite the question and then do it and refine it until you get the right answer.
That's beautiful. It's interesting, when it first came out, I took 3 courses right away because that question asking part, that is fundamentally the greatest asset you can have, and how you're asking it, how you're following up, etc. And that does take a little bit of a learning curve. And I like, 15 minutes a day, he said. That's it, just 15 minutes a day. I want to let you know, if you start 15 minutes a day, you'll end up going a little longer because you'll be fascinated by it. And it's super fun tool to use. Let me ask you a couple of questions now. YouTube, still a good platform if you're just starting out, or would you choose something else like TikTok? And I know it depends on your product and all the other things that you've been talking about. But if you're starting out, where's the biggest possibilities? It's like saying, I always think Facebook is good, but that's because my mastery of Facebook is pretty good. And so I'm looking at it. TikTok, yeah, that doesn't thrill me, although a lot of people are using it and winning. And what do you think about non-video things like podcasts and newsletters?
So as far as the content realm goes, it's part of the whole ecosystem. I do posts on Twitter and LinkedIn, text post every day.
Me too.
And
Me too.
I've run into someone occasionally and they'll say, dude, your content game's really been on point. And I'll be like, oh, you like the videos? They're like, no, I'm on LinkedIn. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, like people read my stuff on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is the best kept secret, isn't it?
It's good. And I'll
Yeah.
look at the engagement too, and I'll be getting or the reach, and it'll be like, like 2 or 3,000 people saw a post that I'm just like, this is, it's LinkedIn. Like I never would have thought it.
Yeah.
Um, and then, but really the main thing is so your first question was YouTube. YouTube, I think, is the best time more than ever to be using YouTube. The reason why, YouTube is the only platform I know where you can have a small-ish following and get paid $100,000 to do a video promo. Like, I know guys who have under 50,000 subscribers who have 6-figure deals. It's like, you don't get that anywhere else.
Wow.
So I think it's the most profitable platform, but the reason now is the best time is because with shorts, you're able to get a lot more subscribers in a way that you couldn't before.
That's true. Agreed. Yeah, and that's why I like reels as well.
Yeah, reels short. It's just a short form because what's happening is people used to watch a 9-minute video. Well, if it's a 30-second video, guess what? People can be watching 39 was I think my math is right. 39-second video. I don't even know what I'm saying now. 30-second videos in the time they could watch one 9-minute video.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you're saying this. Like today, I was at the dentist, get my teeth clean, and I'm kind of in the middle of that. And what did I do? I went right over to YouTube Shorts, and I was like, blam. And you're right, you can clear a bunch of those things. And if you watch enough shorts, it knows what you like. So it starts sending you that educative piece or those things that you like. It just puts it right in place there. I like that you said that because for me, that 30-second, and to me, like this is long form. I do hour videos because I find that it goes both ways. It's like, hi, the short video is there, and then the long form conversation with someone is also very popular. It's like Tom Bilal does that. A lot of the interviewers, Joe Rogan, it's their, pull shorts out of that long form video and put those shorts out there as well. And I think it's interesting what you said about YouTube. And you were like, right now, there is a window of opportunity. Don't know how long it's going to be for people who are starting YouTube channels to have small groups of people, but get sponsorships that are much larger. And I think that's interesting. And I have a couple of questions. A, why is that happening? B, how would somebody start that? Because to me, it's like you want to be able to get your first 1,000 followers really fast. And after that, how do you take these quantum leaps? And how often are these people that have 50,000, how often are they producing content weekly or daily or multiple times a day?
So the question asked me
I
like
had 3
7.
questions. I'm sorry.
No, you're good at that. I like it. What's the formula for YouTube success? And so the formula for YouTube success is post consistently and post the same format. So here's a thing: is if you're posting a video where you're out videoing cars, right? You're like, look at these beautiful cars, and then the next thing you're in your basement office on a chalkboard writing up some like how-tos. Like you want to do the same format because what happens is someone's interested in one post, they come to the page and there's like all these different formats. Their brain can't understand what's happening and they'll just leave. So you want the same content consistently.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. And then the second thing with it is like you want to so how often to post? The ideal thing you should do is 2 long form videos, so like a 8-minute video per week, and then post one YouTube short every single day. And the best way to hack that is to actually go ahead and take your long form video, chop it up into shorts, right? It's an 8-minute video. You're posting 2 per week, so you can find 3 to 4 clips from that 8-minute video. You turn it into short form video, you post it on shorts, and then you link the full video as pin it as the first comment. The reason that works is because what happens is it's getting all this reach. People are seeing it. The first thing you got to think of what consumers do. Consumers of content, the first thing they do when they like a video or hate a video, they go to the comment section. So if you pin the first comment, the link to the full video, they'll click on that, possibly go to the full video, and now you're converting what's a short form viewer into a much more valuable long form viewer.
Wow, that's interesting. I love that, how that is, how you broke that down in the content form. So, let's say somebody wants to start a YouTube channel and they kind of suck at um, video or videos, etc. Do you still believe that things like an iPhone or your regular phone is good for recording that kind of video on? Or do you think because there's a higher quality of something that is going to stand out to the viewer? Or is
I've got
it
a friend
same old, same
that
old?
the short answer is it doesn't matter really. I got a buddy of
Good.
mine. He runs a finance channel called Economic Ninja, and
Mhm.
he drives on his car, he goes parks in a cul-de-sac, he whips out his phone selfie style, just like
Yeah.
this, and he just records himself. And he's grown in the last couple of years to over 500,000 subscribers. He's getting paid
Wow.
hefty sums by brands to sponsor him. He has his own courses and programs, and with his iPhone and no backdrop, he's just in some random neighborhood cul-de-sac.
That I think that thank you for that. That's so cool. I want to ask about brands now because I have a lot of listeners right now and they have brands. And when you're a brand, everybody's trying to, get their message out, etc. I am of the belief that there are two types of brands. There's a brand with no face and a brand with a face. That's somebody that people, like you said earlier, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, Apple, Steve Jobs, the association thing right now. And for new brands, is it easier for them to get attention or get followers if that new brand has a face to it? And not like a spokesperson face, like something that is, authentic, or somebody that's like the brand leader, so to speak, or the face of the brand. And
Yeah,
what do you also think about faceless versus a face in the brand?
a brand with a face and a personality is always going to be more sticky and more relatable. So you'll see, like, if you go to the most successful companies, oftentimes you'll see, like, you go to Apple's website, on their homepage they don't have a lot of people, but when you go to actual product pages, if you click on like the iPhone page,
Yeah.
you'll see they have photos of people using their devices, and they also do it really subtly. What they actually do is when they show screenshots of the phone, they put faces inside the phone. So what they're doing is the way I would say is they're making it more real for people. You see, if I just show you a phone and it looks like this, it's a black background on the phone. You're not gonna like it. Doesn't It's not real. But if I
Not
show you like
not
a photo of
exciting.
my dogs, my family, it just makes me more relatable and the product more relatable.
See, and I like that. And I know a lot of people like, well, if you don't want to be the brand face, I think every brand should have a face right now. I think that's the winning formula. I want to ask you because I think I've been bleeding him, asking him questions. I haven't stopped. I've been firing at him. And I know there are some of you out there who are saying, I got to work with this guy. You're right. You do. You got to work with this guy. But what I want to be really clear about is, do you work with companies? Who's your individuals? Tell me what's your gig?
So what I became known for and really good at is personal brand building, helping people who either are successful in the real world or are growing their success, but they want to transfer that online. And we help people do that. In fact, we work with some of the world's largest personalities, many household names, and we've helped them grow and continue to grow their online presence. But through that, people started to come and Dylan, like, I own this company. Can you work with this company? I do this, I do that. So now I've got three types of clients. One is the personal brands, which we still crush in a good way. We do an amazing job.
Yeah.
Two is large companies that are looking to really dominate the social sphere and the internet. And then the third thing is we actually created a brand new product for local businesses. I have a product
Ooh.
where basically any company, even if their marketing budget is like less than a couple, even under $2,000, most companies won't take them. And we used to have to turn people away. But then we created a turnkey product that that local businesses can use to go from zero to hero in a matter of 30 to 60 days. And
Wow.
it really is like the secret success for. I've got lots of contractors and local people that come and work from my office. I've signed them all up to it. And the worst part about it is the fact that they're coming and saying, Dylan, I gotta schedule you out for a little bit later because I'm so busy now. Dylan, like, I'm sorry, I can't take next day appointments. I'm 2 weeks booked out. Like, these are the conversations I'm having, which I'm happy for them, right? And I'd love to see other local businesses thriving with that as well.
Cool. That's really good. Where do I send them? Where would I send them? I know I have your dylanvanas.com
Yep.
up there. Where else do we send them? That's the place to go?
Everything kind of gets filtered before it gets to me. If someone's like really looking to they want to like touch base with me specifically, the place that I check the most is Instagram. I see like almost everything that comes through there. So if you want to reach out to me, like reach out to me there. All the other stuff, my emails, my website forms, that's all going to go through a team member. So if you want to reach out to me, just go ahead and find me on Instagram at Dylan Vanas, DylanVanas, and I'd love to hear from you.
That's cool. Dylan, I want to say I have enjoyed this conversation more than you know. I love the perspective you have about the future of marketing and where it's headed and how it's done and how to gather attention. And I know I really want to speak to those struggling entrepreneurs right now who are looking at how to grow more attention, how to get their word out more, whether you're new or established. If you're somebody who's, hi, I've been a CEO for years and I want to have an online presence, not sure what to do, then this is the guy you want to look for. This is the guy you want to work with. This is the guy you want to actually talk to. And so you want to go to dylanvanas.com or just simply go over to Instagram and look him up, Dylan, and go there and have a conversation with him and see how he can help you grow that attention and grow that conversation. I love the conversation today. We have delivered an absolute fortune worth of information to people who are looking to try to figure out what's their next best move. So I want to thank you for being on the show. And the last thing I want to ask you is, there's a guy sitting on a fence. He's not quite sure if he wants to pull that button and go to that website. What do you say to him? Do it.
Um, yeah, do it. I mean, I like, I'm a resource, right? And so I'd love to hear from you guys and help you out in whatever way it makes sense. There is a window of opportunity right now, and the opportunity is shrinking, and it's gonna be in a short period of time. We're gonna look back and be like, wow, like, is this another opportunity that I missed out on? A lot of people made money in the .com boom. A lot of people made money in the crypto boom. Like right now,
Yeah.
we're in this branding and social media realm, and this is a boom that I think is a once in a lifetime boom.
Yeah.
So you can take advantage of it, or you can let it slide like all the other ones that you might have in the past.
Mm. That's a big deal right now. We are in that boom. This is a very special opportunity. Don't sit on the fence. Get off your fence, get on your phone, go over to Instagram and leave him a message and contact him and get there with you. Today and every day, we bring the best experts from around the world to be on the Coffee Break Show. Today was no difference. We definitely rocked your world around the marketing thing. Dylan, thanks for being on the Coffee Break Show. I promise I'll see you guys next week where, we're going to be talking to somebody who's really cool and really special. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.